Hey guys, welcome back to another Sunday Reset. My husband and I are a full-time working couple and we have 3 young kids. On my channel, I share with you my Sunday resets where I show you how I plan, shop and prep for a busy week to come. I have a budget breakdown and a meal plan listed in the description, and I have timestamps for you to skip along to your favorite part or to watch the whole thing and be inspired. If you love this, then please don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this week's Sunday Reset. So on a Saturday, my fridge will look fairly empty like this. So this is Saturday night that I'm having a look at this. So I just quickly look through, might get some more butter. I look through all of this type of stuff. I've got some beetroot left over. I was having that on my chicken wraps. I've got some feta that I really do want to use up this week. So I've got something in mind for that. I've got some cheese, got some apples. I've got all of my sauces and things that we grab on a regular basis. I've got butter, eggs, that's always generally in here. I've got some stringer cheese for Liv's lunch. All the yogurt went, so I'll buy some more of those. And then we must not have eaten this last week, so I've got some of this. It's feeling pretty good still, so I will use it up this week, but because it's now been in the fridge for a week, I will use it earlier in the week. Got some red capsicum and they also feel pretty good. So that's what I have left. So I just give it a bit of a wipe out and plan all my meals and then replenish it all, and love seeing it all stocked up on a Sunday. So let's have a close up of the pantry. Up here is all of my clear containers. All the things in the clear containers are ingredients or items that I would grab on a regular basis, so either weekly or fortnightly. I have them in clear containers, clearly labeled so that I can quickly look at it, and when I'm writing my shopping list, it makes it so much easier when I can just glance over and I don't have to put much thought into it. It also makes it easier when I am planning recipes. I can see what I have and just write it down instead of digging through backs of pantries and in buckets and baskets or whatever you have. I like to have clear containers clearly marked and I'm able to see. So everything's looking pretty good. There's a couple of staples that I will replenish and buy: some pasta, some chia seeds, dark chocolate, the sugars. I think I've got some in the back stock so I can restock that. I'll get some kids treats and snacks for their lunch boxes. I don't have any potatoes or sweet potatoes. I got quite a bit of onions last shop, so I've got heaps of those. I've got some jelly. It's not meant to be there, but I've got some jelly that I'll put in the kids' lunches as well. I'll have a look through the canned items that I have here when I'm planning my meals, just to make sure to see if I can use up what I need to use up. All of that, I know all of that's actually really good. I went through that pretty in depth the last 2 weeks. Anything that is behind here, I don't grab on a regular basis, not every week. However, it's something that I would grab for certain recipes. So I have that here. And then anything that is not as regular, but I would still use, you know, maybe monthly or every couple of months, is down in these containers. So I've got some condiments, baking, got some meal bases, pasta, rice. So some of the larger items when I buy in bulk are in those, and then I refill my containers up here. And then other things are just down there, like condiments. If it's not very common, it goes down there, but I still have it. And I think I explained when I buy this type of stuff, I normally buy quite big containers. It's not always the case, but generally the case is going to be a lower unit price. So I buy in bulk when I can. So I don't have to stock up on this very often because they're quite big. So everything's looking all right. I just have a quick glance through and make sure that I can use up what I'm using up. And yeah. And making sure that I'm not wasting anything that I don't have to waste. So I've got a good idea of what I need, which isn't very much, but I will write my shopping list based off what I've planned out and what I'm gonna need to replenish. So I'm just going to go get my click and collect. So today I did one at Woolworths and I wanted to use my 10% off monthly discount with using the Woolworths Extra. I have been using a lot of click and collect lately, which isn't my ideal. I'd like to shop in person, but given the timing and what we've had going on recently on the weekends, it's just made it more convenient for me. So yeah, I'm on a bit of a click and collect phase at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to head down and get that, and then I'm going to start prepping. So today I'm going to be doing 2 dinners. I'm going to be doing my lunches, breakfast, and I'm going to be doing quite a few snacks. I'm going to make some 3 cheese and spinach rolls, some sausage rolls, some brownies, I'm going to make some protein panna cottas as well. And then for breakfast, I'm going to have the some baked pancakes. I'm going to make the Nando's chicken and halloumi rice bowls for my lunch. And I'm going to make a pasta bake and also one of our family favorites, a honey and mustard chicken. With some mashed potato and green vegetables. So that's my plan for today. So yeah, I'm just going to head down to Woolworths, grab my shopping, and then I also did a bit of a stock up today because I was using my 10% off Woolies discount. I got quite a few cleaning products. I got some dishwashing tablets, got a couple of toiletries, not too many. But yeah, that's all included in today's shop. As always, like you would know, I'd have the budget breakdown and all the meals listed in the description. So check out that if you're interested in seeing the budget breakdown and what I've actually bought. And yep, let's go prep. So here's all my groceries. Here's my shopping haul. I've got it all laid out on the bench and in the different categories. So I've got here the cleaning and household section. I've also got the toiletries. I've got some shampoo, conditioner, and some hand wash for the kids. And that is my household and cleaning. And then I've got all of my vegetables here ready to go. And I've got all the fruit for the kids. That's some frozen items, but part of the vegetables category because I'll go in the recipes. I've got lots of fruit for the kids. Those there under the treats category, so that's just they were on a really good special and that's what David likes to have. I put them under the treats category because they're non-essentials really. And then I've got the everything else category which covers quite a lot. So I've got all of the dairy, so they are kids yogurts and then also David's yogurts because he leaves at 4:30 in the morning, so he generally takes yogurt and like a piece of fruit in the morning for his breakfast on the way in because it's in a pouch because he drives to work, so that just makes it a lot easier for him. Then I've got some buttermilk and some Greek yogurt and cream cheese for the recipes. I've got lots of milk for the kids because they drink milk, and I've got some yogurt for recipes and for breakfasts. Got some butter, and then I've got some halloumi that will go on my Nando's chicken and rice bowls. And then I've got the meat here, so I've got some sausage mince, I've got some beef mince that will go across 2 meals this week, and then I've got heaps of chicken breast as well. So the chicken breast will go across a few meals this week. I need to buy some pork tenderloin as well. Then the rest of it's all part of the everything else category. So it's basically anything that is like pantry essentials, pantry items, kids' lunch boxes. It'll also be the items that will go up in the pantry containers as well. So that's my grocery haul this week with a click and collect from Woolworths. When it comes to washing my fruit and veg, I use the Koala Eco dish soap. I give my sink a really nice clean and then I fill it up with cool water and a squirt of the Koala Eco fruit and veg wash. If you don't like doing that, then you can use cool water and some white vinegar or some bicarb soda. So I've got the fruit and veg soaking now. They're only going to soak for 1 to 2 minutes. The rest of it will soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to quickly putting away some of my pantry items just before I have to take that out and spin them. As you know, I love having an organised pantry, so I use this time to put away and decant anything that needs to go in their containers so that I do it all in the one day, and that way I'm able to keep up with an organised pantry. So I'm just going to spin the strawberries now. If you want your produce to last, I do definitely recommend getting something like this. So this is the OXO spinner. I've got it linked in my Amazon storefront. Like, look how much water's come from that. I'm gonna add some paper towel to the bottom. I'm gonna trim off the green tops and pop them in. That's how I store my strawberries, and they last really well. They last about 5 days. It just depends. If I get a bunch of strawberries that are quite overripe, they might not last as long. But I tend to like to go for the ones that are just a little bit underripe. One, because we actually like our strawberries a little bit more sour. But two, I find they last a lot longer. But moisture is going to be the reason why they don't last very long. So I do all of this on a Sunday so that our produce lasts better, so that we're really organised for the week. It just makes it so much easier for David and I at night when we make the kids' lunches. We normally make them at night because we both leave fairly early. David leaves really early, but I sometimes have to be out the door at 7 o'clock with the 3 kids. So we sometimes make them the night, or mostly make them the night before. So this process that I do on a Sunday helps us out each night when preparing their lunches as well. On the Saturday night when I'm planning out my meals, I also get out the ingredients that I already have for the meals and I just put them on one of the shelves in the pantry. So when it comes to this time, I'm able to just quickly walk into the pantry, grab out what I've got prepared and add it to the ingredients that I've just purchased, and then I categorize them in their different meals. So here is all of my ingredients laid out on the bench ready to go. So I've got the ingredients for the honey mustard chicken that I'm going to be making, the sausage rolls and the 3 cheese puff pastry that I'm going to make. I've got my lunch here, which is the Nando's chicken and halloumi rice bakes. So I've got that. I've got all the containers out that I want to be using as well, just so that I make sure that I've got the right amount of containers ready to go. I've got the pasta bake that I'm going to be making. That actually goes down there with the honey chicken. I've got all the ingredients to make my breakfast, which is the baked pancakes, and I'm going to make them 2 different ways. I'm going to be making the panna cotta, the raspberry protein panna cotta. I've got some stuff for brownies to make as well, and I've just got my pineapple there that I'll cut up. So I've got all the ingredients ready to go. The only thing is I need my fresh stuff, so I'm just finishing off washing those. So I'm going to get those out now because they've been soaking for about 10 minutes while I got all the other ingredients out. So that's how I set up ready to start my Sunday reset. So the first meal that we're going to make today is the Nando's chicken and halloumi rice bake that I'm going to be having for my lunches. So I'm going to be making 5, so from Monday to Friday. And what you need is 500 grams of chicken breast. I'm just going to cut it up into cubes. And then I'm going to grab a Nando's marinade. I like quite a bit of spice, so I'm going to be using the medium marinade, and then I'm going to be using the Nando's hot sauce in it. So these cook in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to get these on first. Most of what I'm actually making today is done in the oven, so I just need to start layering what's in there. When I'm choosing meals for my Sunday reset, I generally try to go for quite easy meals and also meals that can cook in the oven so that I'm not having to be hands-on as much. So I'm going to use about half a bottle of the marinade. Now you can marinate this for a lot longer, but I've only got a couple of minutes that I'm going to be marinating it while I get everything else ready. I'm just going to pop that to the side. So I'm just going to wash some basmati rice. I'm going to be using a 1/3 of a cup per container today. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of basmati rice, 2/3 of a cup of chicken stock. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of natural yogurt or Greek yogurt. Now you can use fresh cherry tomatoes, but I've been using them out of a tin lately because they have a bit of the juice and they've been excellent. So I just divide 1 400 gram tin between all 5 of them. I'm going to cut up 1 red capsicum. Just going to give that a stir before I put the chicken on top and add the Nando sauce. Now the key is to make sure that the rice is all underneath the liquid, otherwise you'll end up with crunchy rice on top. So you want the rice to cook evenly by being under all the liquid, so make sure that's all submerged. So that's why I add my chicken at the end, so that the rice doesn't go on top of the chicken. So I'm just going to evenly distribute the chicken. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the Nando's hot sauce on top. Then these bake in the oven at 180 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. So for these, I'm using the IKEA glass range, the 365 glass range from IKEA, and these are the 1 litre rectangle, shallow rectangle. Next, I'm going to move on to making my breakfasts, which is going to be baked pancakes. So I'm just going to pop the scales under there because I do weigh a lot of these ingredients. So you need 300 grams of plain flour. You need 5 tablespoons of brown sugar. Add 5 eggs. 350 mils of milk. I use almond milk. And 250 grams of yogurt. I prefer the YoPro vanilla yogurt, just a bit of added protein. And just whisk all that together. Now the best part about this is it bakes straight into the dish itself that you're going to be storing in the fridge and taking to work or having in the morning. So here I'm using the Decor brand of the glass range, and it's the 750ml. So just divide evenly between the 5 containers. On my website I've got the ingredients set for single serve, and then you can just multiply depending on how many you're going to be making. I'm making 5, so from Monday to Friday. So my normal go-to with this is adding frozen raspberries and some chocolate chips, but I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try some apple and cinnamon. I've just diced up 2 Granny Smith apples, and I'm just dividing that by 3 of them. And then the other one I'm going to try kind of like a peanut butter and raspberry jam flavour. I'm just going to sprinkle over a little bit of cinnamon and then stir that in. These baked pancakes are really versatile. You can pretty much add any toppings that you want. You could do white chocolate and blueberry. You could do this one, apple and cinnamon. You can do my favourite, raspberry and chocolate. And then when I heat them up in the morning, I just heat them up for 1 to 2 minutes. And then I add a little bit of a drizzle of maple syrup. And that's it, that's my breakfast. They are so good. They almost feel like a dessert for breakfast, but they are so good. You could even add some protein powder. If you do, I'll just take out some of the plain flour. And for this one, I have just melted some peanut butter. I'm gonna swirl that in there and then add some raspberry jam. You could even do Nutella in here as well. These only bake for about 20 to 25 minutes at 180 degrees in the oven, so I'm going to pop those in. So I'm just going to give my area a bit of a clean up. It's really important to keep a nice clean space just so that you don't feel overwhelmed and that you can see how much you've got to go and what you need to use up. The next dish I'm going to make is tonight's dinner, which is the honey mustard chicken. To a baking dish, I'm going to do it all in the one baking dish to save on dishes. Add half a cup of parmesan, 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of whole grain mustard, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, half a cup of chicken stock, and give all of that a good mix. Now I just grabbed 2 large chicken breasts and I just cut them down the middle just to make them a little bit thinner and to create 4 chicken fillets. And I'm just going to place the chicken in. Then I'm going to flip them over just so that they've got the coating on both sides. Then I'm just going to add some rosemary in there as well. And I'm just going to put that in the oven and cook that on 180 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes until the chicken breast is cooked through. So now moving on to the baked beef rigatoni. So I'm just going to heat up some water for the pasta to cook. And I'm going to use a heavy bottom skillet. I'm going to heat up some olive oil. I'm just going to dice some onion. I've got 3 smaller onions here, but I'd normally do 2 medium onions. So to a heavy bottom skillet, add some oil and heat it up, and then add 2 onions. Add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and 1 heaped tablespoon of Italian herbs. Just cook that for a couple of minutes until the onions are nice and soft, and then we're going to add the beef and season the beef. Add 500 grams of beef mince and some salt and pepper. So just break up all the mince and cook until all the mince is cooked through and all browned off. Once the beef is cooked, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and 800 gram tin of tomatoes. and 1 cup of beef stock. We're just going to cook that on a gentle simmer until the pasta is cooked through. Then we're going to add the pasta, top with cheese, and pop it in the oven. And then when it's finished, we're going to add some fresh basil to the top. I'm just adding the pasta into the beef mix now. You can do this with any pasta, but I do like the rigatoni because I find the sauce gets nice and inside the rigatoni and making it absolutely delicious when it bakes. I'm just going to tip it into a baking dish, and I'm going to add some grated mozzarella. This dish here is such a good make-ahead dish. You can just cover it, leave it in the fridge, and you can pop it back in the oven to reheat, or you can serve them in individual dishes and reheat in the microwave if you're all eating at different times. And that's it. I'm just going to pop it in the oven until all the cheese is melted and bubbly. So I'm just going to peel some potato to have with tonight's dinner, which is the honey mustard chicken. So we love having a creamy mashed potato with our honey mustard chicken. That and just some really nice steamed vegetables, steamed green vegetables, is a perfect dish in my eyes. It's nice and quick and easy. There's not a lot of hands-on work except for quickly whipping up the marinade for the chicken, putting it in the oven, and then having to do this. And that's about it. It'd be even easier if you had it with rice. You could just pop on some rice or do microwave rice. And it's one of our family favorites, so I really hope it would be one of yours. I'm just going to pop that on to boil, and then I'm going to put it through a ricer, and that's how I do my mashed potato. It comes out silky smooth every time. I'm going to add some butter and milk and salt and pepper to it. Next, I'm going to make one of our favorite snacks, which is brownies, and my daughter has requested that this week. This is seriously the easiest brownie recipe that you'll find, because you just have to basically add everything to a bowl, mix, put in a baking tray, and bake. So we're just going to add 1.5 cups of plain flour, 1 cup of cocoa powder, 1 1/3 cups of brown sugar. Now this is definitely just a sometimes food because it has everything bad for you in it, but it's delicious and it's just a treat every now and then. 1.5 cups of caster sugar, 225 grams of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 4 eggs. Give everything a mix, and then we're going to add some dark chocolate melts in as well to make it nice and gooey with chocolate. It's so decadent, so rich, but it's so good. So I'm just going to chop up some chocolate melts now. I just roughly chop them up because it's really nice when you get a big chunk of it. And if you cut it too small, it just disappears sometimes. It just melts into the brownie. So I'll just give it a really rough chop. Put it in a lined baking tray. So you just smooth that to the edges, and then we're going to cook that in an oven preheated at 180 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. I just normally check it. I like mine nice and fudgy, so I like to undercook it a little bit. So it's cooked through, but yeah, it's still fudgy and not like a cake-like texture. So about 40 minutes I'll check it, and I might need another 5 minutes in the oven. The last 2 things that I'm going to actually cook is the sausage rolls with hidden veg, and I'm also going to make the 3 cheese and spinach rolls as well. So for the sausage rolls, you're just going to need 500 grams of sausage mince, half a red onion finely diced, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin. You can either add 1 teaspoon of curry powder or half a teaspoon of mustard powder. And then you can also do whatever hidden veg that you want. So I'm going to do 2 carrots, and I'm going to do them really finely grated. I've also made this recipe with grated zucchini. You can even put in finely chopped spinach, whatever veg that you want to get in there that you think your kids won't notice. And if you have any vegetables to use up, you can just chuck them in as well. Going to add in the carrot. And it's a bit messy, but I find the best way to do this is with your hands. Just mix that all through. My kids love this recipe, and they also take it to school. When I'm at home, if we want to heat it up, I just put it in the air fryer for a couple of minutes and it heats up beautifully. Otherwise, in their school lunch boxes, it's kind of served at room temperature, but they still love that. It's also a really good one if you're having a play date or some friends around. It's a really good recipe because kids do love this one. Just gonna pop that to the side while I make the 3 cheese and spinach mixture so that I can roll them out at the same time. This one's even easier. It is so simple. It's just a couple of ingredients mixed together and then we're gonna put it in puff pastry. We need 200 grams of feta. I like Danish because it's a little bit softer. 250 grams of cream cheese. 1 cup of mozzarella. 250 grams of thawed out frozen spinach. Again, mix that all together till it's all combined. Then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. So I'm just adding some garlic powder. And that's it, that's the 2 fillings done. So that's the filling for the 3 cheese and spinach rolls and also the sausage rolls with hidden veg. I'm just gonna lay down some puff pastry now and put that through the middle and then fold them over. So just lay out your puff pastry so that we can put the mixture straight down the middle of the puff pastry. I'm gonna do 3 of each of this. Just gonna cut down the middle. I'm just gonna spread the mixture so that we can close it up, so don't overfill it. These are also freezer friendly, so you can make these and freeze them. So you can make a really big batch if you like and then freeze them. You can either freeze them like this before you cook them. Now I'm just gonna make up a simple egg wash using 1 egg and a little bit of milk whisked together. And I'm just gonna put it down one side to close it up. So just do the same with the 3 cheese and spinach. You just pop it straight down the middle like a sausage roll. And we're gonna close it up and add an egg wash. These are really good if you're entertaining as well, as an entree or a starter or appetizer. I know when I've made them, they've been an absolute hit. You can use fresh spinach as well for this, but I just like grabbing the frozen spinach. It's nice and easy, as long as you thaw it out and squeeze out any excess moisture. I'm just gonna make a simple egg wash by using with 1 egg and some milk, just whisked together. First thing we're gonna do with the egg wash is we're just gonna put it down one side of the sausage rolls. This is going to fold over the other side to kind of seal it in. Okay, so the side that we didn't put the egg wash on, we're just going to fold that over first, and the egg wash is going to go on the other side to stick it together, just like that. Now when we're going to bake these in the oven, we're going to have the seam side down. That just helps to prevent any like opening or splitting in the oven. Okay, I'm just gonna get an oven tray ready. I'm gonna transfer them all over to an oven tray. So they're all seam side down. So they're all laying seam side down on the trays, and I've just put a knife through them just to outline where they're gonna be cut. Just gonna brush over some egg wash. Now please add some sesame seeds to these because it's absolutely delicious. My kids have a sesame seed allergy at their school, so we can't have any sesame seeds. Please add it because it makes it so much nicer. I'm just gonna pop them in the oven for about 25 minutes. So now that I've got the final 2 things in the oven to cook, I'm just gonna steam some green beans and finish off my mashed potato for dinner tonight. So this is to go with the honey mustard chicken. So I just have it with mashed potato and some steamed green veg. So just doing some green beans. I often get asked what David takes for lunches. He normally takes the leftovers. So we generally do have leftovers for dinner. Probably not enough for 2 people, but definitely enough for 1. He generally takes the leftovers and I will take the lunches that I've prepared on the Sunday. So I'm just gonna get these onto steam and then I'm gonna finish off the rest of my Sunday reset or my Sunday meal prep. So the last things I have to do is just make the protein panna cotta, and I'm also going to cut up some fruit. So I'm going to cut up the pineapple, and then things have started to cool down, so I'll start to put their lids on and just finish off the last few things. So I'm also going to cut up some carrots that we take in our lunches. And I'm going to finish off the mashed potato. So this here is a ricer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop the potato into here and put it through here. Of course you can use a normal masher, but I just find this, I do have it and I find it makes the nicest, silkiest potato. So it's also what you would use if you were making gnocchi. Doesn't take very long. I know a masher would probably be quicker, but it doesn't take very long. Makes them super fluffy by adding a little bit of air to it as well. I can't remember where I got this, but I know that they would have them on Amazon. You'd probably be able to buy them at kitchen shops as well. I did originally buy it to start trying to make my own gnocchi, which I actually haven't made for a very, very long time, so I should probably make some more gnocchi soon. Just gonna add some salt, pepper, some butter and some milk into this. I'm gonna add some butter and a little bit of milk. Just gonna fold that through. You can already see how silky it is. Makes the best mashed potato. Look how good that looks, delicious. This one here is a must try, I believe. It is a protein panna cotta. So what I use is the raspberry flavored jelly light. When I make this, I use both packets. It's seriously, it's just 2 ingredients. It's just this raspberry jelly and some vanilla yogurt. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of boiling water. And I'm gonna whisk that to dissolve it. Instead of adding the cold water, I'm going to be adding yogurt to it. My pick for this is the YoPro vanilla yogurt. And then you're just going to whisk that through. Then I'm just going to divide it by 4 bowls. And all it needs to do is set in the fridge. Now I top mine with frozen raspberries. You can add whipped cream. I've seen people have little meringues on theirs. I normally have it at night, so I try not to have too much excess sugar. So I just have this, and I have a little bit of frozen raspberries on top, and that's enough for me. That is a beautiful dessert. Just finish off while I relax at night. So that's all you do, and then they just set in the fridge. So now I'm just gonna finish off a couple of snacks, grab and go snacks. I find our carrots last absolutely fine in the fridge for up to 5 days like this. And I just use a glass container with a good seal. If you're finding that your carrots are drying out, you can keep them in water so they stay really crunchy all week. So you can still prep them like this and then just keep them, just add some water to the container. It'll help to keep them lasting longer. I've been loving seeing all of your own Sunday resets, especially on Instagram. I love being tagged in it, so thank you so much if you've tagged me in it, or if you've messaged me saying that you've tried it out. It just means so much to me that you guys are giving it a go and loving how much it prepares you for the week. Just remember, it doesn't have to be anywhere near the scale that I do. I've been doing mine for quite a while, so I've got my routine down pat. But I do really love seeing what you guys do and how you get prepared for the week. This is the very end of the cook for me. So the sausage rolls are just finishing off in the oven, and I'm just cutting up the last couple things. There's no actual cooking involved anymore. I've finished all my cooking, and I'm just doing the final things that help set us up for the week. So I always get asked, how long does this take me? I generally only set aside 2 to 3 hours on a Sunday to get all this done. It has started taking me a little bit longer since I've been filming for YouTube, just so I can kind of do my talking in between and everything. But it doesn't take me much longer. I've just started taking a little bit longer just so that I can get everything that I want to get done for social media as well. So I've actually been doing these Sunday resets more at night when the kids are in bed, just so I've got a quiet household. But it's also been really good because it means that I've had more of the day back with the kids as well. I know that's not going to be for everyone. Some people are exhausted at the end of a night or the weekend, or even after a work week. But I don't mind doing it. I actually really enjoy doing these Sunday resets. And so to me, it doesn't faze me when I do it. Still means I'm getting nice and prepared for the week, but I'm also able to film and post on social media for you guys. And I'm going to finish off the mashed potato. And the very last thing I'm going to do is just air fry a little bit of halloumi to go on top of my Nando's chicken and rice bowls. So I'm just going to cut it up, spray a little bit of olive oil on it. Just going to add a little bit of cracked pepper. I'm going to air fry it, top my rice bowls with it. Just adds that little extra touch. the air fryer, just a couple of minutes in the air fryer. So here's everything that I've prepared for my Sunday meal prep. So I've got the sausage rolls with hidden veg. I've got the 3 cheese and spinach rolls. I've got the Nando's chicken and halloumi rice bake here. So I've got all 5 of those for my lunch. We've got tomorrow night's dinner, which is the baked rigatoni with beef. We've got tonight's dinner, which we've got the honey mustard chicken with the mashed potato and steamed green beans. We've got some prepped fruit, veg and meat ready for the week for kids' lunches and easy grab and go snacks for David and I. I've got my protein panna cotta here, and I've got my breakfast, so the baked pancakes. So I've got the apple and cinnamon, and I've also got the peanut butter and raspberry jam. And of course we've got the chocolate brownie, my daughter's favorite. So that is the end of my Sunday reset. So I'm just letting the final things cool down, then I'm going to package it all up and put it in the fridge ready to be stored away. Everything's packaged up. So we've got the brownies in here, we've got the 3 cheese and spinach rolls in here, we've got the sausage rolls with hidden veg in here. That's our dinner for tonight that we're about to eat. I've got the Nando's chicken and halloumi rice for my lunch, all 5 of them. Now 2 of those will go in the freezer and 3 will go in the fridge. So I'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and these will go in the freezer. And then what I do is I grab these out on a Wednesday morning when I take my one for lunch, and they thaw out in the fridge ready for Thursday and Friday. So then these are fine. These will last in the fridge all 5 days. So I'll just grab one each day and take that. I've been liking these in the decor containers because it does have this little air vent, and I've been using that to heat up my lunch. I heat it up for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then I add a little bit of maple syrup on top, and it's delicious. I've got all my fruit and veg cut up there, the deli meats and the panna cotta, and some more veg for the week. This one here I'm about to cover with some alfoil and put that in the fridge as is, because that's for tomorrow night's dinner. And then I'll heat it up in the oven it won't take very long to heat up, maybe like 10-15 minutes at 180 degrees, and then that will be perfect. And yes, we're about to eat that now, which is been hanging out for. Here is it all in the fridge. I often get asked how do I fit it all in the fridge. I only ever keep what's needed for the week. So that's how I believe it all fits in the fridge. As you can tell, I've got all the containers nicely stacked, and then I've got some meat in one drawer and I've got some fresh vegetables in another that I'll use throughout the week. But that's how I store it in my fridge. As always, thank you so much for watching along, and I hope you really enjoyed my Sunday reset, and I will be back next week.